probably going to try and make my heartbeat go higher by breathing heavily, which is going to make me look like a complete twat. So for the last 2 weeks I've been talking about some of the pickups I've purchased from the London gaming market, and this is the final video I'm going to use to talk about that. And the reason why is because I thought I'd make a special video just for one particular item I purchased the other week, and that is this little guy here, and I've referred to it as a bio sensor because that is basically what it is. This is a Japanese-only peripheral that only came out in Japan and was only released and used for one game in particular, and that is Tetris 64. And I thought, since no one really knows too much about these things, so it was a perfect opportunity to show you something that not many people have seen, and someone actually playing Tetris 64 using the biosensor to see how it works. So I've got my my N64 pad here, and we're just going to plug this bad boy in, and then I clip this little thing to my ear here so I can take my pulse. It's quite difficult to actually keep it on. It's not very tight, which is good in some ways, but can kind of fall off a bit. So I'm just gonna start the game, and then let's see what we've got. So we've got all sorts of different modes. Luckily the menu is in English, so there's a sensor check option just to make sure it's all working. So it's taking my pulse, kind of, I don't know if that's good or not, 90 to 100, that's probably normal I guess, hopefully. And I don't know if it actually changes depending on talking as well, so let's see how that works. So there's a Bio Tetris mode. Now I haven't actually properly played this yet, so I'm not sure what to expect. It's my understanding that when I play this game, it will take my pulse and it will change the game speed accordingly. So I'm going to start off level 3, I think. So now I wouldn't say I'm the master at Tetris, but on the other hand I wouldn't say I'm terrible at it either. I'm competent, I think, is the best term you can use. So you've got that little pulse right there. Can't talk too much because that's gonna. It's supposed to make it harder when my pulse rate is quite low, and easier when it's quite high. To test that theory, I'm just going to hold my breath for a bit and just slow my heartbeat down. Now that my heartbeat is quite slow, it's giving me very normal Tetris pieces. So far so good. This one does have some very weird pieces for a Tetris game. Playing. Second, probably going to try and make my heartbeat go higher by breathing heavily, which is going to make me look like a complete twat on video on the internet. But this is in the aid of science, showing you something a little bit different. So I'm going to start breathing heavily now, see what happens. It's not really doing very much, to be honest, although it's clearly reading my heartbeat is a bit higher. It's not actually doing a hell of a lot, to be honest, so I'm just going to try and calm myself down again. This isn't working very well. I'm just going to try a different mode just to see if it's any different. So I'm going to try B type. Start it off from the beginning. I'm just going to test the theory. I'm just going to take this off just to see if it actually changes anything. So it looks like I'm dead. I don't know if it's reading it from my finger, maybe. Try again. Okay, so it's got my pulse now. There's a part of me that thinks that maybe this isn't working as it's supposed to. I don't think it's a faulty unit. I think it's working absolutely fine. I think it's just a very low fidelity technology. It doesn't work particularly well. I think it's picking up my voice more than my pulse at this point. I wonder, I'll put it at my finger. Might be a better place to put it. Why not pick up my voice so much? That looks a bit more normal. It does actually tell you to put it on your ear. Well, it's quite weird that it's not, you know, working quite as well. I'm going to try a different mode again just to see if another mode works. I'm just going to start at quite a high level just to see if I can artificially make my heart beat quite organically just by playing the game. Not actually working now, which is a bit weird. Go. This is things are moving a bit different now, so I wonder if this is related to the pulse rate. And I hold my breath again just to see if it slows things down a bit. I don't know if you can tell whether it's making any difference to the speed. It's hard for me to tell. It could just be the level I put it on. But again, I don't think it's really doing much, which is quite weird. There is a multiplayer mode on this with the biosensor. As you can see, when you go in the sensor check, there are other spots to have more of these on. But again, not really much happening when you actually play the game. I mean, let me see what happens if I change the biofeedback just to see if it's something a little bit different. I'm gonna put the level up again to see if there's any difference to actually playing it like this. I mean, another thing it could be is depends how stressful Tetris makes you. I'm naturally a very calm person for the most part, so you know, playing Tetris is not something I would consider as a strenuous activity or something that would make me particularly stressful, and maybe that's showing in this. Again, you know, it's hard to tell. Just gonna hold my breath just to see if anything changes. I don't think it is. No, honestly, I think I'm going to give up at this point. I think Tetris 64 with a biosensor is a great idea, but I don't think the technology quite works up to the potential. I'm surprised that Nintendo haven't come up with their little biosensor they were talking about a few years ago for the Wii U, and this is probably why, because it doesn't work particularly well. So I'm going to actually leave it there. This is the most exciting video, so I'm sorry, but can't always trust technology, especially technology from the late 90s. So I'm going to leave it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, you can subscribe to this channel, which is great and keeps you up to date with all the videos I do, all the retro stuff, the modern stuff, the random stuff to do with biosensors, all that guff. And I'm going to see you around. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to keep gaming positive.